I will make you a question. Have you seen anyone becoming rich just by investing or day trading? Because I haven't. I haven't seen anyone doing this. And even if you're able to do this, you will need most probably 10, 15 years working on your strategies or reading or studying the markets. The markets, you can never
Predict. Yeah.
predict how the market is going to turn and what will happen in the market. So how I see myself earning my financial freedom is by having my own business, because of course, in order to invest money, you need to have money.
Here we are, another session of the Financial Frontiers podcast. Just a quick note to the audience. If you're passionate about diving into the deep details on how the fintech space works, do us a favor, hit subscribe, like, and share our YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Find us on social media. We're on Instagram. Do us a favor, and if you want, we're also open to DMs. Slide into the DMs, write a message, on what you'd like to see in future content. Maybe guests that you'd like me to host on the session, on the podcast, in a future session. Feel free to do that. It helps the channel. And we're here to deliver good content. Today, I have a guest who is also in the financial services space as what I would say an influencer. This is actually how you came across my radar. Styliana Charalambous, CEO and founder of Self-Made Academy. I think you can introduce yourself better than anyone else. Please tell us who you are, where you're from, your background, and leading up to this point where you are today, which is obviously, an up and coming with a few thousand followers that are interested in the content that you create, and which is obviously related to the industry that we're involved in. Let's hear what you're about, where you're from, and how your role in this industry generally.
First of all, I want to thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast. So I'm Styliana Charalambous. I've started my career as an auditor in a Big Four audit firm in Larnaca, because I live in Larnaca. And then going on in my career, I realized that there is lack of financial literacy, and no one teaches us the most important things we have to learn in order to have a good financial future, and to learn about how to create patterns that will lead us to live a free life. Financial freedom is one of the most important concepts for me. And so I decided to do something about it. I started gaining my financial literacy on my own, from books, from internet, from YouTube. And then I decided to offer this knowledge to other people who don't know where to start from to learn about finance and personal finance and investing.
So that was you started in KPMG. What year was that? When did you start out? When was the first and KPMG was your first job after your studies?
After my studies, yeah. And all I remember is that I was 21 years old when I started there.
Wow. Okay. So, well, couldn't have been too long ago.
I cannot comment anything on that. Yes, I agree with you.
Okay. And you were at KPMG for how many years?
I was there for 5 years.
So you got your, obviously, some degree before KPMG. Yeah. What degree was that?
So before KPMG, I studied business and finance and accounting.
Okay.
While I was working in the same time.
Okay.
Because I was funding my studies. I was the one who I was paying for my degree, so I had to work in the same time. And this made me gain a lot of experience, not just, studying is just one part. Getting experience is more important than what you read in the books.
I agree 100%. I haven't studied anything. I was in university, was doing a course on BCom, business commerce. And I didn't finish, but what I am involved with today certainly requires a degree of some sort, but I'm doing it no problem. So,
and you're doing it great.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, practical experience trumps it all, right? And I think I agree with what many professionals say, is that, the system, the university system, studying the degree, all of that is a bit outdated. It's broken in some sense. Mm-hmm. People end up with a degree and a massive debt to pay off that their salaries will not be able to cover in decades. And that's not, that just adds stress. It's not, what's the right term? I'd say, from a business standpoint, if you had to think, what is the benefit in me getting a degree, and then what is my outcome, input, what is the cost versus what my return is? Doesn't make sense.
When you do a decision, you have to see what will it cost me and what is the benefit that I will get. Personally, at this point, I wouldn't get into debt for studies, and I don't recommend to anyone to do that, because the return will not be higher than the cost that you pay. There are so many sources out there in the internet where you can study, you can learn now whatever you want to learn, and you don't have to pay thousands of euros to get a degree. I'm not saying that people shouldn't study, because of course it helps. It was my ticket to get my first job. It was my ticket to get into a multinational organization, but it's not enough. And currently, apart from what I do, I'm a professor at the university that I studied. And in most cases, students ask me, okay, I finished my degree. What I'm supposed to do now? Am I supposed to get another degree or do a master or a PhD? And what I tell them is that just get your practical experience. Go out there, work, try different industries, try to see what you like, what you want to do. Because when we're 18 years old and we're called to decide what we want to do with our lives and what we want to study, we have really no idea what this is. It's just an estimation that we have in our head. And the reason why I got into accounting and finance in the first place is because they told me that it is an industry that you can gain a lot of money. And that's why I got into it. But I didn't exactly know what was that.
Which way and how to do it. Yeah, that makes so much sense, and for you to be able to give that kind of advice, which is, advice that comes with, you're obviously able to, because that's advice that comes with the experience, your own experiences. And, you mentioned you paid for your own studies. That is a big achievement. That's, in my opinion, and I don't know you, but just from, the stuff that you're saying, I can guess, and I'm pretty sure about this, is that's what put you in a position to give that kind of advice, because you know the hardship, what it takes. Studying it's not easy. You got to put in the time. It's not only the courses, the lessons, the actual lessons. It's going home and preparing and reading and studying, and you don't understand and going back, and we all know. But then add on top of that, work to make money to pay it off. You don't even and get to enjoy it. How much money you're going to earn. You're going to earn just maybe a little bit more than what you need to pay for the very expensive tuition fees.
Okay, yes. So while I was studying, my whole paycheck was going directly to the university. I didn't even have anything left.
Well, there you go.
But this experience gave me so much confidence, because every time you do something difficult, you see that you can do it, and then you can do the next step, and you realize that people can do whatever they want to do if they put the work in and they're consistent.
I 100% agree. That's very inspiring, and well done for so far. So Okay. Then you were at KPMG for 5 years, you mentioned.
For 5 years.
And then from there, you left KPMG to where did you go afterwards?
I joined a client that we had in KPMG for 6 months, but then I had one proposal from a Forex company in Limassol, Pure Markets, to work there as the head of investments and market research. And I grasped this opportunity because it was a very interesting industry for me. It was still related to finance, but a very different job to what I was doing. I gained so much experience in KPMG, and having to deal with financial statements on a daily basis helped me a lot to understand what to see, the fundamental analysis that I have to do in choosing the best companies to invest in the stock market.
Okay, so now you're head of research and
Head of investments and market
head of
research.
investments and market research, which I guess kind of helps you with your content for your side hustle, right?
Yes.
Let's expand also a little bit on that. So you're still at the Forex broker, Pure Gold, you mentioned?
Pure Market.
Pure Markets. Okay, Pure Market. And you've also got the side hustle, obviously, which is what brought you to my attention, where there are thousands of followers that you have that engage in your content. How do you manage your time, right? You got a 9-to-5 job. Well, you're experienced with this kind of thing. You did it with studies and work, all right? You paid for your studies. Now you're doing it with your side hustle and your day job. Expand on that. How do you manage your time? Do you have any personal time, or what is your personal time, your side hustle? What are the challenges you have?
Firstly, I want to say how I got in this industry and how I got this job in this industry, because it was my first job in Forex. So while I was working in KPMG, a big international firm, I realized that I was working for so many hours. We were working 12-hour days, having a good salary, but not good enough to sacrifice your life and your time and not have a personal time and not enjoying your life because you work all day for someone else to get wealthy. And what do you get at the end of the day? Just a salary that is enough to live in Cyprus. And so I had to come up with an idea. I had to think of something that would get me out of this rat race, because I was thinking to myself, am I supposed to do this for my whole life, to work 8-12 hours for someone else and just have a salary? There must be another reason. I couldn't accept it as a person, that this is how life is supposed to be. And then investments and stock market came across, and I started researching on my own. What is the stock? I had no idea until this day. What is the stock market? How cryptos work? How can I make money in the stock market? And then I saw that there are dividend stocks. You can make money passively. You can buy some stock and receive money every quarter from dividends. And then a whole new world opened up for me. And I got my hopes up that this is not the only way that I have to live. I can do something else as well that will give me income, and I don't have to work my whole life for someone else and depend. This is what I hated, depending on someone else.
Good for you, and that is a really good topic that I think will resonate with the audience, right? So obviously, the audience is in the space that we work in. It's the B2B space. I would consider you as part of the B2B side, because in some form or way you are a marketing person, right? You have a following, and you have some form of influence to market, to let people know about a product or whatever it is. So the end trader is maybe in the same place that you were in KPMG, where you're looking at what way can I make more money or become financially free so that I'm not stuck in a job that I'm not happy in. And there's also a flip side to that, and I want to expand on this point a bit, right? So many people, what people do, right, for you in your case, to invest in stocks and crypto, whatever it is, in making money in those actual investments takes a lot of work, experience, decades, right? Decades. And even the professionals get it wrong sometimes, like so I mean, they're very limited, at least from what I've seen, right? People attempt to place trades and do swing trading or whatever it is, or quick in and out. I could be wrong, but I don't think that works. But in your case, you looked for an escape, and that was what you leaned into, and you got your answer, but not directly. I don't know, maybe you are investing and making money in stocks. I'm not sure. I don't know. But you are definitely getting, paving your path to financial freedom working in the industry, right? So that you don't know how things can unravel. Maybe it's not for the end trader, if you're involved in the industry and you're trying to place trades or whatever it is, a lot of the time is a gamble. People lose their money. People come short, right? That's what I want to get to. The main point that I want to drive here is, people look for a shortcut in life, and then they come short, and they invest more than what they're able to lose. I think, you've got to be very careful with the amount of money you choose to invest for that end goal that you have to be financial free. First, test and try. And, the experience that you gain in that might open up other doors for you, like it did for you. I believe that's what happened, right? So for you, you started out looking at, what other alternatives are there to this life that I cannot imagine myself living forever. And these opportunities open for you. You got the job at the brokerage firm, which kind of helps you, get ideas, and head of market, market research, and remind me of the title is
Head of investments.
Head of investments and market research, which obviously is a day job that helps you with your side hustle, right? That side hustle could pan out to be something massive for you, So, and you didn't become financial free by investing in stocks or in Forex, right? Yes. So other doors open. And I'd like to hear your opinion on that, because I believe the content that you put out is, I haven't seen it all, but I've seen bits and pieces, right? Do you think that a person can make a living only by investing and doing nothing else? And what are the risks around that?
Okay, so I will make you a question. Have you seen anyone becoming rich just by investing or day trading? Because I haven't. I haven't seen anyone doing this. And even if you're able to do this, you will need most probably 10, 15 years working on your strategies, or reading or studying the markets. The markets, you can never
predict
how the market is going to turn and what will happen in the market. So how I see myself earning my financial freedom is by having my own business, because of course, in order to invest money, you need to have money. I'm not going to be a person who makes 1,000 euros per month and invest 100 euros in the stock market and think that I'm going to be rich in 2-3 years. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort to learn about to learn about the markets, to learn how the market works, how you can choose the best companies based on your risk tolerance, based on your investing time frame. For example, there are some people who want to make money in 5 years. I'm going to buy different stocks to what if I'm a long-term investor and I'm expecting to make money in 10 years, 15 years.
Yes, exactly.
You need to have a business or a job which will fuel your investments. You have to. What I was doing, because I have built a 6-figure portfolio up to now, and I started it from zero. But how I did it, every time I was receiving my paycheck, I was cutting 50% of my salary. Someone cannot cut 50%. Maybe someone can do it with 10%, 20%, or 30%. And I was putting this money in my investments, in the stock market, in crypto. And I was able in 2 years to create a 6-figure portfolio. If you were asking me 2 years ago that I would have $100,000 in my euros in my name, I wouldn't believe you. I was going to say, how am I going to do that? That's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, because and you also mentioned before when you at KPMG, it's enough just to live, the salary, and I think that's also changed, right? Because of inflation and the cost of living has just gone so high, and salaries have not caught up, right? It's hard.
It's hard.
You,
It's challenging.
It's very challenging, and well done on building a portfolio there. Well, that's impressive. Yeah.
But in this case, when you see that things are tight and are challenging, you have two options. You're gonna say, okay, this is how it is, and I'm just gonna live with my parents and cut expenses. And the second option is do what you have to do to change that, to earn more money. And there's always a way to make more money and to have a better life.
One thing that if there's one thing that I want to teach my kids, right, is if you know this, it's a skill, right? Just normal trade, right? Bartering, well, not bartering, but buying something and being able to sell it for profit. Just that basic skill, and it sounds easier than just that description, right? Buy something for €1 and sell it for €1.20. It's not that easy because anyone can do that, but there are people that do that very successfully, right? In this basic, but at a much larger scale. If there's one skill that I want my kids to learn is that, because then that is a skill that you can apply anywhere you go, anywhere you live, wherever the world takes you. If you know how to buy and sell for profit, that's it.
Yeah, the skill is called sales. To know how to sell something.
Yeah.
And the people who, the people that are earning the most money in every industry is the people who are able to sell products or services. They got good on it, they have experience, and they know how to make money for a company. And if someone is able to sell products or services for someone else, why not doing it for themselves and creating their own company with unlimited income potential?
You have the Forex job, the 9 to 5, and then you also have, the content creation that you do. And I also know, because you mentioned this before we started the podcast, you have an academy, which is called, you're the CEO and founder of Self-Made Academy, which is a course that teaches people the ins and outs of the financial services sector. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, and what made you start that? Why did you decide to start Self-Made Academy?
Sure. So when I started learning about investing and the financial markets, I couldn't find reliable information. I didn't know anything about this industry. I didn't know which YouTubers are saying the right things, which are just saying that to get more money from you, what you can apply, what you cannot apply. And I couldn't find a reliable information resource. So I decided what I've learned to teach it to people who want to escape the rat race, who want to build better financial habits, who want to be better at personal finance, to learn how to invest in the financial markets, and how to eventually gain their financial freedom. So they don't feel the way I felt, stuck in this 9 to 5 company without knowing what am I supposed to do with my life there. And sometimes you have to notice what's going on around you. For example, when I was in this company, I was seeing people working for so many hours and earning just a salary, and someone else who was finishing at 5:30, let's say, going home, enjoying their lives with their families and having these beautiful lives. They were earning thousands of euros. They were earning millions in some cases, and other people were earning just 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 euros per month that were not enough. So you start to notice, and you ask yourself, what does this person do differently from other people, and they're earning this amount of money? I'm not saying it's easy to be a business owner. It's the hardest thing ever. You take your risks. You don't know if something is going to work or not. You put so many hours in, at least in the beginning. But for someone who wants to 100% gain their financial freedom, is the only way to do it.
And that's what you teach in Self-Made Academy?
In Self-Made Academy, I have also students that have nothing to do with this industry. They studied something else. So I teach them from the beginning, how does the financial markets work, how the economy works, how can they invest in stocks, how can they trade in Forex, in crypto, in other financial assets, how they can develop better financial habits and manage their money better.
That's good. I mean, every if you've got a strong cause, a cause that has meaning, I think there are many people that would appreciate that and resonate with that. And I wish you a lot of success in Self-Made Academy.
Thank you.
Okay, so, and you also mentioned that you are also a professor at your university.
Yes. This is another thing that I do.
Okay.
So I have my 9 to 5, then 2-3 times a week I teach at university from 5 to 8. And the weekends and the other hours I work on my business, on my side hustle.
This is a fact. Hard work is the key to success. Finished. Full stop. It's hard work. You put hard work. I've mentioned this in the podcast before, but I think it's got to sit in. There's no other hard work. Some people it might take them longer to figure it out. For others it might be shorter. In a month, whatever. Hard work. You just got to put the effort. No laziness.
This is the key, hard work. But I think there are more things in order to be able to succeed, because if you work for a company, no matter how hard you work, your salary is capped up to an amount. You will never be able to live next door to your boss, right? So it's not just hard work, it's consistency. Why? The reason I say consistency is because I've noticed I'm doing this financial influencing thing for a long time. But in the beginning, I was just posting one video here, one video there with no intention and nothing was going on. But in the last few months where I decided to be consistent and post one video per day consistently and try to improve it every time I post a new video, I've seen something is going on. I've been invited to podcasts like this, for example. I'm very honored to be here. In events, I've gained more attention for my other social media applications.
So what have been the biggest challenges for you to around your experience and your journey that you've had around the social the social media, the content creation? Because for anyone starting out, and certainly for myself, I mean, my experience, it's we're not at many followers yet, or likes or whatever it is. Some have gone viral for some reason or whatever it is. TikTok seems to be the thing that helps a lot. I've had a few videos that have gone viral for some reason.
TikTok is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, for example, I post very valuable content that will help someone make money, for example, and maybe I will get 700 views. Yeah. And when I lip sync in one song, I get 20,000 views.
It's crazy.
This is crazy. And
yes.
Weird.
So here's another funny story, right? TikTok, I've known about TikTok. I don't go on the platforms myself a lot, right? This is the first attempt that I've actually done, in my professional career to create content, actual content. And even in my personal life, I'm not doing the Instagram pictures or whatever it is. But here's a very funny story. First TikTok I ever did in my life, ever. I always had a TikTok account just to understand the platform and how it works and, from a business perspective. But I said, today, I was at home one day and I said, I'm going to create a TikTok with my son for bonding. It was just for bonding. I didn't expect, to get any views. I just said, both my son and my daughter, I said, first, Dimitri, come, first TikTok, right? Come, let's do a TikTok. And there was this one sound bit where those go viral. Like there's a soundtrack, and then many people create different videos around that one soundtrack. How TikTok works. So I said, Dimitri, come, let's do this one. It went viral, 60,000 views.
Wow,
60,000 views. My first TikTok ever in my life.
You see, yeah. The algorithm works in
so weird,
a strange way.
And then I did the same one with my daughter because can't leave her out. And that one got 1,000. So I don't know, yeah, and also in the content here. So we've got a lot of short clips or whatever it is on TikTok around our topic. And the one topic that is not the one short in TikTok that was in a conversation that I had was not even related to the industry. Bam! Yeah. Went to like 30, 40,000. Anyway.
And that's why we have, as content creators, to not get discouraged about not having a lot of views, because maybe the next video will be the one that will elevate our career and will gain us much more followers. We have to do it daily, consistently, and the results will come at some point with hard work, dedication, and consistency.
So which platforms are you most active on at the moment?
At the moment, on TikTok and Instagram.
Instagram. So Instagram, I think, has already matured, and it must be very difficult to get a following on Instagram, and like a good, authentic following.
The truth is that I've noticed that most of my followers that I get recently on Instagram are coming from TikTok. So TikTok is the #1 platform for me to gain exposure. And because you asked me before, what are the main challenges for me as a finance content creator?
Yes.
I would like to say that the main challenge for me is to make finance interesting for young people. Because many young people think that finance is something really hard and complicated and no one can understand it. And you need to have studies on it in order to be able to understand it. And it's not this way. It's a very easy topic. There's nothing, it's not rocket science. There's nothing that someone with an average mind cannot understand. And if it can give you financial freedom and a better life, it's worth keeping an eye on it.
Yeah. So how do you make it interesting? Because, when it comes to educational material, right? Teaching somebody about the financial markets, as you mentioned, it could be boring. And, even though it's not complicated for you, it is books, right? Textbooks, understanding macroeconomics, how does demand, supply, all the stuff, right? In textbooks, which is boring. And then you've got a different form of education, which is in shorts, like 20-second clips, 30-second clips, which, that does make it, I guess, interesting, or, bite-sized, you're able to grasp. I think, how do you go about making it educational? How do you take off the boring part and how do you spin it up? Practically, what is it that you do actually to make it entertaining?
So the first thing is that I get the information that I need to give to my audience. So the information is boring on its own, but I try to write a script in a way where it catches their attention, and I give them the educational part, but also an entertaining part as well. This can be achieved maybe with using a few images floating in the video, or having big subtitles, because most of people on TikTok, they don't even hear what you say. They just read it on the subtitles. Okay. Why? Because they're at work at this time. I've done that. Everybody did that.
In their what's meant to be an 8-hour job, working 12 hours that they don't like, and they're looking at TikTok. That's funny.
That's not the way to get out of it, by the way. But you can learn something. You can get an idea of what it takes.
It's good tips, and on that topic, let's talk about how do you see the future of content creation, right? And I guess around the the financial services, which is the content that you create. What kind of platforms, maybe on the platform front, because YouTube it's old, right? So since 2008 or whatever, whenever YouTube came out, whenever it was, shorts, these reels, Instagram stories, whatever, these things didn't exist, and then there was that one that one app with the ghost. Snapchat, which I think Snapchat just died out now, but Snapchat is maybe the reason, the main driver, the innovator of these shorts, right? These reels. I don't know. I think, and which now exist in Facebook, exist in Instagram as reels. It's obviously TikTok, which is mainly that. TikTok before was dancing, whatever. Where do you see the future? I mean, and nobody can predict the future, right? But how do you see that evolve? How do you see content evolving?
Okay, so as you said, I cannot predict the future. No one can do it. But what we see in the video content industry right now is that people want to see more short form content. People want to see more short form content. So that's why we're going from YouTube 10, 15, 30 minutes videos to shorts on YouTube, to reels on Instagram, and TikTok videos that are short. They want you to get to the point so they can get the information they need in an entertaining way as well. And that's all. They will not sit and watch 1 hour YouTube videos anymore.
Yeah, and who knows how that evolves, because, if I do, I'm looking at how this changes, the social sciences, right? How this changes how it impacts, let's call it, the young generation. As I mentioned before, I've got my kids. They watch these reels. It's 10 seconds, 20 seconds, one topic. Most of the time it's useless content. And then they flip to the next topic, 20 seconds, flip to the next. And there have been many critics out there, professionals who've said, that's not good for the attention span, and I think that is a real problem. How does a kid who's been introduced to platforms that have shortened the attention span to these 20-second clips until they just jump to the next topic, how does that child get into deep focus, which I think is very good for the brain in the learning process, or in school to listen to the teacher for 30 minutes. Maybe the next, in trying to predict the future, maybe the next form content, the next platform will be to mitigate that problem, and then we go back to 30-minute reels. I don't know.
You see how the most successful business ideas are coming up. You identify a problem and then you're trying to find a solution for it.
Exactly. Yes.
So you just gave a valuable business idea right now. Someone can do it.
Yeah. Awesome. So you've just mentioned like 5 full-time jobs. How does Styliana's day look like, week look like? What do? You wake up in the morning, how does it go? Because there's just so much you do. You mentioned you do 3 days a week, you go to the lectures. Saturdays and Sundays, you mentioned you do the content of your social media, but it looks like you do that every day.
Yeah, I do it on a daily basis.
Okay.
Because I've noticed that it's more convenient for me to write one script and film once per day than filming 5 videos at once, let's say. And it's more sustainable for me to do that. How my day looks like: normally I would wake up at 6 o'clock, go to the gym for 1 hour, then I will have a shower, eat something quickly, and then start my 9 to 5 job. Then at 5 o'clock I have to run to the university. In these days that I have a lesson to teach, until 8 o'clock, 8:30, and then I will come home and write my script, film my video, and also write the script for the next day. So most of the days I'm fully busy. I'm running from morning until night that I will sleep. But I love it.
That's a big key there, right?
I wake up and I always say, thank you, God. I love my life the way it is. And I'm always going to try for something more. Not because I'm not satisfied with what I have now, but because I have this urge on me, this ambition. I always want to do more to become the best version of myself. And this is what makes me happy.
That's awesome, and that's inspiring. I think that I do hope that somebody sees this and gets inspired, and because people who do that, who have figured it out and are willing to share that, you got a good intent, it impacts someone else. Like, you were influenced by someone who somehow got you to this point, and I think that's good. It's awesome. And here's the other thing: if you didn't enjoy what you do, there's no way you'd be able to put all those hours in there. Mm-hmm. You'd crack at some point. You'd break. How can you do that? So I do wish that people find that place, and the only way to get there is that you keep trying, keep working, keep trying, keep working.
Inspiration is good, and it's what gets you started with something, but inspiration will not always be there. You need to have consistency. Even at this most simple example, if someone wants to have a nice body, what they have to do, they have to eat healthy and regularly going to the gym. You're not inspired every day. There are some days where you wake up and you say, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to do anything today, but you have to stop listening to what is going on in your head and just do it without thinking, because you have to do it, because you have to be consistent, and because you have a goal that you want to reach.
That is so powerful. That's such a powerful message. I agree with that so much. If you were dependent on reaching success based on how you feel, you wouldn't get there.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here today. We were laying on the beach.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. And that applies to everything, anything. You just mentioned a good body. It takes consistently every day. Routine. The power of routine. These books, just Atomic Habits. Like these things, these topics, these strategies, whatever it is, have to be applied. They work consistently. Ignore how you feel. Doesn't matter how you feel. You just got to show up.
This is one of the best books that I've read, Atomic Habits.
Yes, brilliant.
And also, if I could suggest one book for people who want to start achieving their financial freedom now, it will be Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is my favorite book of all time. The first book that I read in this finance-related book, personal finance-related, and it's very inspiring.
So yeah, I mean that would be my. I'm really interested to find out, and I think the audience would be as well, is how do you keep up, with, I guess your 9-to-5 job helps in some way or form there, keeping up with the trends and but there's obviously got to be more, what are the sources? Because you also mentioned before that you don't know which sources is good quality content, or if the content that you're reading, the YouTube video that you're looking at, or the advice that you're looking at, if it's correct or not. How do you get your content, your valuable sources of information?
It's exactly what you mentioned. My 9-to-5 job helps me a lot about that. I have to study at least 2-3 hours a day the markets to see what's going on, what the trends are, what the market direction might be, based on a fundamental analysis that I have to do. So it's part of my job to know what is going on, what are the new trends, which companies are succeeding, which companies are failing, and why are they failing. Apart from that, I try to read 10 pages daily of books. For example, the one that you mentioned, which one you said?
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits is a good book, and it will help you with that.
Here's a good takeaway from that. You mentioned, I try to do 10 pages a day. When somebody looks at a task or an obstacle, a goal that they want to achieve, when you look at the goal in its entirety, it looks like a mountain, right? I can't remember how thick the book is, but let's just say there was a 200, 300 page book is easy. Let's say there's an 800 page book, massive, that you want to read, you want to understand it, you really want to read through it. 10 pages a day, 20, that's it. Every day, consistency, routine, and it'll get done. I think when people set themselves up to win, and if you've read the 10 pages today, you've won. You're on your way to read that whole thing, or 20 pages. right?
You have to break down your goals on daily habits.
Yes.
It's not that it looks hard when you see just the goal and you don't know how to get there. But if you put monthly goals, for example, and say, okay, let's take the most simple example. I want to lose 5 kilos this month. What do I have to do daily to reach this goal? I want to build a business I want to launch my business in 1 year. What do I have to do to get at this point?
What are your future plans? Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
If you asked me 5 years ago where I would see myself 5 years from there, I could never predict how my life will be right now. So I don't know for sure, but because we can control our fate, all I know is that I will give my all to become a better professional, a better person, to grow my side hustle, to grow my business, to gain more knowledge and give more knowledge to the people. I feel like what I teach people will help them improve their lives. And this is where I get power from. Most of the days I don't sleep 8 hours a day because I cannot sleep 8 hours a day. I sleep 6 hours, 5 hours because I want to do what I have to do during the day. But the feedback that I get from my students and that I'm changing their lives gives me strength and gives me inspiration to continue do what I'm doing.
Yeah, we mentioned before, and the notion of our conversation generally over here has been revolved around making money, right? And we've linked that to happiness. And I think there's a line there, right? There's maybe we need to put it an important distinction where somebody could be earning 3,000 euro a month and be super happy, and that's fine, that's good. That's good for that person. If you've got this goal of earn more, and that's how I'll be happy, that's a goal that will never be reached because you can never have enough. If that's it, if that's the goal, then what's the number that you're happy with? When you reach that number, it is normal for you. So if you're on a salary of 1,000 euro a month, right, 10,000 euro a month seems like wow. When you get there, you're like 50,000 seems better.
Exactly.
And you get there and then you're like 100 million. Where does it stop? It doesn't stop. And I think there's an important point here, in my opinion, right? Money shouldn't be the target.
Money should never be the end goal.
Yes.
Personally, my end goal is to reach my full potential and become the best version of myself, the best I can be. Of course, money is good. Money helps a lot. I like money, I'm not going to lie, but I'm not doing what I do specifically for the money. If you do what you love and you're good at it, money will come anyway to you.
That's exactly right. And it makes it less stressful, I think. If you're doing what you enjoy, and, money is not the only... So, for me, this podcast, for example, I don't have any money goals on this. I don't. It's just a strategy, let's call it, to create digital content about the industry. It's something that I do anyway every day. Instead of being on a call now with a client or an associate or whatever it is, I'm on a podcast session with a guest. We're speaking about the industry. It's what I do every day. So it's all good. And whatever comes of it, so be it. If nothing comes of it, it's okay. At least I've got, here's at the very least what I have. For me, I've already won, even though it's not a successful channel. I'm not interested in that.
But it is a successful channel.
If I'm speaking to somebody who doesn't know me, I've got a reference. I'll say, take a look at that channel, go and look who I am, go and look at who I am at scale. People can see, because I'm not putting an act. I am who I am. Speaking to me the way I am now, that's how I am at home, that's how I am everywhere. And that's, I think, what makes it easy, the not having that goal, because then when you've put these other goals, then you think, to get more money, then I need to, change a little bit who I am, or you apply more pressure unnecessarily. And and is this one of the things that you teach in Self-Made Academy, or is it just purely about finance, or in your teachings?
What I teach is not purely about finance.
Okay.
A lot of it is about personal finance, how to manage your own money. But I'm also teaching them that money is not the main goal, and they have to do something that they enjoy doing. And money will come along the way. Money is energy. This is how I feel like about money.
Very interesting, Styliana. So a few more points here. What is your take on crypto? What do you think about crypto as an asset class? Is it something that you'd put your money in? What is the long haul? What do you think about crypto?
I'm investing in crypto for the last 3 years. So obviously I believe in crypto. Even now when things are not going that well, I dollar cost average on a daily basis. This is a strategy that we use to invest a small amount of money daily on an asset. I personally invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum because I think that they're two of the most valuable projects on crypto that we have. And in the big picture, I believe in blockchain and I believe in decentralization. And here comes also independence, because we don't depend on a central authority. Cryptos are decentralized, no authority can control them, and it's just between peers and computers and blockchain.
Okay. You mentioned something there about your risk, and that I think is going to be quite interesting. What did you call it? $1 strategy?
Dollar cost averaging.
Dollar cost averaging. Can you expand on that?
Yes. As we know, Bitcoin has reached 69,000 at one point. Now it's around 27, 26. I've checked yesterday, I think. So I'm getting advantage of the low price now. We don't know the price direction. Maybe it will go to 25 to 20. Maybe it will skyrocket again to 70,000. But because long term, I believe that Bitcoin will even be at the price more than its all-time high. I'm trying to get advantage of the current price, and daily I invest $10, let's say daily, on Bitcoin, and it adds up. In 1 year, 2 years, it will be a bigger amount, where I believe also that Bitcoin will be at a higher price.
So dollar averaging, meaning if you invest a small amount on a daily basis.
Yeah, and you get the average.
You get the average of the fluctuating.
So it's less risky.
Exchange. Got it. Because you take, yes, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because if you had to take $10,000, put them all today, boom.
How do I know if it will be half of the price tomorrow?
Exactly. And in a year from now, that could be with 20,000, could be. But if you take that 10,000, you spread it over all of the days.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
You take an amount and you spread it all over for a period of time, especially when this asset is at lower prices.
That, I would imagine, is one of the strategies that an end trader should use, not only in crypto, right? In stocks.
Of course. You can do it also in stocks. You can have a company that you believe in, that in the future the prices of this stock will be even higher, but you don't want to invest on all your money right now because you don't know the direction of the market. We're still talking about a recession. We didn't say that a recession will not happen in the future.
Right.
So you mitigate the risk by investing daily, and you can have some money on the side. And when you see, let's say, a 10% drop in one day, you can invest more money in this asset.
Styliana, it's been an hour almost. 1 hour has gone past already. Let's do some closing comments. I think, obviously, people can find you on Instagram. Maybe you want to give the taglines. Let's give a bit of information here. If you want to maybe elaborate on Self-Made Academy, is there a subscription there? How does someone find Self-Made Academy? Do they subscribe? Where can they find your social media handles and subscribe to you? Let us know.
Okay, so on Instagram, you can find me under the name Stilly in Finance, the same name on TikTok. And you can find my Self-Made Academy on my Instagram page. There is a small subscription for my lessons that I do because I put a lot of effort on it and a lot of hours, but it's a very small amount comparing to what you can learn that you can use for a lifetime.
That reminded me of, I'm going to bring this one. I think there was an artist, Van Gogh, or some artist sitting on a train. Someone came and asked him, can you please draw a picture of a portrait of me? It took him 5 minutes. He really gave it. He said, it will cost $1,000, let's say. I can't remember but the notion is this. So the guy goes, what? $1,000? It took you just 5 minutes. So the artist replied, it didn't take me 5 minutes. That took me decades. But, you're able to deliver quick, right? So because you're able to, you built yourself to that point. And I think that is, that's very valid. What you say, small amount, whatever, that can last for a lifetime. And, you keep learning every day, as you said. So you mentioned Instagram, Self-Made Academy, TikTok, and your Self-Made Academy can be found in your bio on Instagram.
That's right.
Are you not on LinkedIn?
I'm also on LinkedIn.
Are we connected on LinkedIn? If we're not, we should change that. We should connect.
Yeah, my name on LinkedIn is Styliana Charalambous. You can find me by typing.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time, Styliana.
Thank you.
And looking forward to seeing you soon at the expo, right? I'll see you next month.
19th of September.
Yes.
We'll be at the expo.
Good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
Let's do one of these fist bumps. Okay, we're done.